The Audi A6 Allroad has always been the quiet answer to a question most people never ask out loud. They want the space and the comfort of a big estate, they want all-weather security, and they do not want an SUV. For more than 2 decades, that car existed, and now the 5th generation arrives at a strange moment. America is letting the Allroad go. The wagon is being quietly retired from the United States lineup, which makes this new one feel like a car built for the people who still understand what it is for. And for the first time in its history, it can be plugged in. This is the wide-body version, and that is the first thing that hits you. Audi has pushed the body out by 11 centimeters compared to the standard A6 Avant, and you feel that width before you read a single number. The car looks planted in a way the old Allroad never quite managed. The upper half stays clean and elegant, the classic estate silhouette, while everything below the waistline turns rugged. There is body cladding. There are those hexagon-shaped vents behind the front wheels, and there is a real sense that the lower half of this car is doing a different job than the top half. In Plateau Grey Metallic, the car I am looking at, that contrast reads beautifully. The gray almost disappears into the cladding, so the whole thing looks like one carved piece rather than a wagon wearing plastic armor. The face is dominated by that wide hexagon grille, finished in black, with the slim matrix LED headlights pushed out to the edges. Up to 21-inch wheels are available, and the test car wears a dark multi-spoke design that fills the arches properly. What I like here is restraint. Audi could have made this loud. Instead, the aggression is in the proportions, not in the detailing. The roof rails are functional, the diffuser at the back is genuine, and the 4 exhaust tips on the diesel are real rather than decorative cutouts in a bumper. Around the back, the full-width light bar connects 2 segmented tail lamps, and this is where Audi got a little theatrical. The digital OLED rear lights carry 198 segments per side, and they shift their signature, communicate with traffic behind, and even light up fully when someone walks too close to the parked car. It sounds like a gimmick until you stand behind it at dusk and watch the pattern move. The ground clearance is up 34 mm over the Avant, and with the air suspension you can add more on demand, so the stance changes depending on what the car is asked to do. Step inside, and the Allroad drops the rugged act completely. This is the same cabin philosophy as the rest of the A6 family, which means a curved panoramic display running across the dash. There is an 11.9-inch driver display, a 14.5-inch central touchscreen, and the car can be optioned with a 10.9-inch passenger screen that streams video. It helps with navigation without distracting the driver. The whole thing curves toward you, and the materials around it feel appropriate for a car that will cost real money. If breakdowns like this help you work out which version is worth it, subscribe so you catch the next one before you buy. The front cabin is where Audi spent its effort. The contour seats can be optioned with ventilation and a massage function. The climate control splits into 4 zones, and the little touches add up. There is a fine dust sensor in the air quality package. There is acoustic glazing that now extends to the rear side windows, and there are speakers built into the front headrest for the Bang & Olufsen system, so navigation prompts and calls can be aimed at just the driver. You sit in it and immediately understand that comfort, not sport, was the priority. There is one thing worth being honest about here. Audi has moved almost everything to the screens, and the climate row lives at the bottom of the central display rather than on physical switches. Some buyers will find that a step too far, especially the ones who grew up with Audi rotary dials and loved them. The recovery is that the new system is genuinely quick to respond. The voice assistant now uses ChatGPT, so you can ask for things in plain language, and the steering wheel keeps real haptic controls for the functions you use most while moving. It is not buttonless for the sake of it, even if it leans hard into touch. The rear cabin is a strong point, and it should be, because this is the reason you buy an Allroad over a sedan. The seats fold in a 40-20-40 split. There is a dedicated climate zone back there, and the flat floor means the middle passenger is not perched on a hump. With a wheelbase stretched to nearly 2.93 meters, legroom is generous, and the panoramic glass roof can be dimmed electrically rather than relying on a manual blind. It is a genuinely pleasant place to spend a long drive. Then the boot, which is the whole point of the car. In the diesel, you get 466 liters with the seats up, expanding to nearly 1,500 with them down. The plug-in hybrid sacrifices some of that for its battery, dropping to 404 liters. And that is the trade you make for electric range. A rail system with movable anchors keeps your shopping from sliding around. The tailgate is powered and opens with a foot gesture, and there is a partition net, so loose items stay out of the cabin if you stop hard. There is even a roof basket in the accessories catalog for the people who genuinely use this car the way the marketing imagines. Now the part that makes this generation different. For the first time, the A6 Allroad can be a plug-in hybrid. The e-hybrid pairs a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with an electric motor for a combined 367 horsepower and 500 Nm of torque. That is enough to push this wide estate to 100 km an hour in 5.5 seconds, which is quietly very quick for something this practical. The battery holds 25.9 kilowatt-hours, and Audi claims up to 95 kilometers of pure electric range, which for a lot of owners means the daily commute happens without the engine ever waking up. There is a catch worth knowing. The plug-in hybrid charges on alternating current only, capped at 11 kilowatts, so a full charge takes around 2.5 hours, and there is no rapid public charging to lean on. For a car at this price, some rivals offer faster options. But the way most people will use this, charging overnight at home, that 11 kilowatt figure refills the battery comfortably between one evening and the next morning, so the limitation mostly disappears into the routine of ownership. If diesel is more your world, the 3-liter V6 TDI carries on, with 299 horsepower and a huge 580 Nm of torque. Audi is layered in mild hybrid plus technology, with a belt starter, a powertrain generator, and an electric compressor that spins up to 90,000 revolutions in a quarter of a second to kill turbo lag. The result is a diesel that pulls away almost like an electric car, and it is the one to have if you tow, because it can haul up to 2.5 tons. Both powertrains drive all 4 wheels through quattro as standard, and both ride on adaptive air suspension with off-road modes that lift the body and loosen the traction control for gravel, sand, and snow. On the move, and the footage shows this car working a coast road and a mountain pass, the Allroad does the thing Audi has always promised. All-wheel steering turns the rear wheels against the fronts at low speed to shrink the turning circle by up to a meter, then with them at speed for stability. It shrinks around you in a way a 5-meter estate has no right to. The air suspension drops the body at motorway speed to save fuel, and the whole car settles into a long-distance gait that makes the miles vanish. Pricing in Europe starts at around €77,250 for the diesel, which is roughly $89,600, and just over €80,000 for the plug-in hybrid, about $93,000. Orders open in days, deliveries land in the fall, and for now this stays a European car. The Mercedes E-Class All-Terrain and the Volvo V90 Cross Country are the only real rivals left standing, and both are about to have company that can do something neither can. The A6 Allroad was always the sensible enthusiast's secret. This new one keeps that intact and finally gives it a plug, right as the segment around it thins out to almost nothing. For watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions. I read every single one, and don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified about my next upload. See you in the next video.